one of my systems for a good life is that when I feel a compliment, I try to release it. Because sometimes you'll have a positive thought in your head about somebody, but you just keep it there. It's all wasted. If you keep those good thoughts in your head, it's just wasted. So if you have a compliment and it's sincere, I'm not a big fan of the insincere compliments, but if it's sincere, let it go. Could change the world. Could change the world. Have you ever had a compliment that changed your life? Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had a compliment that just stayed in your mind for decades? Every now and then, a simple compliment will just change somebody's life completely. And I was searching through my memory of compliments. Now, when you're a public figure and you produce products for the public, you get complimented and insulted at a very high volume. So the number of compliments I've received in my career is, a zillion times what ordinary people do because they're not in the public eye. But also the criticisms are way more true. I was thinking through my past. I was thinking, there are some compliments that just stay with me forever, but most of them don't. Most of them I appreciate at the time, but they don't have any lasting quality. And I saw in your comments, so many of you said that yes, there were compliments that changed your life. I was thinking of a few of them in my case. And I'm not even sure this is a compliment. I'll tell you the one story. When I first got an offer to be a syndicated cartoonist, I had been told by another syndication that had rejected me at the time that maybe I could be the writer, but I could work with somebody who knew how to draw. So one of the cartoon syndicates said basically, you're not really an artist. Maybe you should find somebody else to do the drawing for you. Now imagine that as you're trying to get your career started as a cartoonist, and one of the top 3 people in the planet who gets to decide who is going to be a cartoonist. They're the ones who make the deals with cartoonists and then sell them to the newspapers. And one of the 3 of them told me I wasn't even it wasn't a question of whether I was good enough cartoonist to be in newspapers, but that I wasn't even a cartoonist. So that's the kind of connection I got. But later I got a phone call from the woman who was an editor for United Media at the time, and that company got absorbed by my current syndication company, or at least the Dilbert product did. And so she offered me a contract to be a cartoonist. Soon after, I'd gotten this other advice that maybe I should find somebody to do the drawing for me. And when she offered it, I said, well, long story short, I said yes. But then I said, do you think I should get a real artist to draw it for me and try to work as a team? And this was Sarah Gillespie, is her name. And she said, no, your drawing's fine, just the way it is. And it was sort of this Wizard of Oz scarecrow moment. The Wizard of Oz story? The Wizard of Oz simply tells people that they're brave and then they act that way, tells them that they're smart and then they act smart. That's what happened. She simply told me I was qualified, and almost immediately the quality of my drawing improved 500%. From the moment she told me I was qualified, I became qualified. She actually turned me from unqualified to qualified by telling me I was. Think about that. Think about the power of that. Completely made my career. It's the reason you're here. It's the reason I get to write books. It was one sentence in my life that it was one sentence that changed the entire trajectory of my life. And then I was thinking about most of you know I got to visit the president in the Oval Office last year. And we had a little chat about a variety of things. I don't talk about the details. None of it was state secrets or anything. It was a private conversation. And there was one point in which he paid me a compliment. And I'm not even going to tell you what it is, because that's not the point. But I think I'll always remember that compliment because of who said it and where I was when it happened. So I think of that one all the time. And I realize it's having a bigger effect on me, like it's going to last the ages. And so I would remind all of you that giving a compliment is absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. You can give a compliment and you've lost nothing. In fact, you've gained something. Because when you compliment people, they like you better. But here's the big part. Sometimes when you compliment people, just in the ordinary course of your life, you're not trying to change the world, you're just giving an honest compliment. If you give an honest compliment to somebody, sometimes they change the world. And the compliment could be a big part of that. So don't be stingy with compliments. Part of the one of my systems for a good life is that when I feel a compliment, I try to release it. Because sometimes you'll have a positive thought in your head about somebody, but you just keep it there. It's all wasted. If you keep those good thoughts in your head, it's just wasted. So if you have a compliment and it's sincere, I'm not a big fan of the insincere compliments, but if it's sincere, let it go. Could change the world. Could change the world.